Week one of the Rock County double homicide trial wrapped up this afternoon. Former UW-Madison football player Randle is facing 2 counts of first-degree homicide in the deaths of Sierra Winchester and Brittany McAdory. In February of 2020, NBC 15's Marcus Arsvold was inside the Rock County Courthouse in Janesville with a recap from today's proceedings.
Friends of Randle and Winchester testified in court about the relationship between the victim and the defendant. One of Randle's friends, Shannon Wingate, testified that she knew he was a drug dealer and that he sold weed, pills, and cocaine. She also testified that she heard him say he believed Winchester was working as an informant for the police trying to set him up. Brandon Tobias, another friend, also testified as a friend of Randle and Winchester. Tobias testified that he'd seen the two argue, but then gave conflicting answers and said he did not know about Winchester working with Randle.
There's been a suggestion in this trial that Miss Winchester worked for Mr. Randle. Did you know that to be true?
No.
Did you know it to be true that Ms. Winchester was selling yoppers or any other kind of dope for Mr. Randle?
No.
Other testimony came from employees at TA Travel Center in Janesville. The gas station employees who saw Winchester in the early morning hours before she was killed say she was acting anxious when she entered and purchased a fountain drink. The prosecution says they've got about 10 witnesses left to testify. Then it'll be the defense's turn to call their witnesses. Court is set to resume Monday at 8:30 a.m. In Janesville, Marcus Arsvold, NBC 15 News.